No one else would say that.
I would say positive.
Thank you.
Alright, for those of you who know me, I usually like to put off writing new poetry for the open mic until like midnight, right before. So I finished this at like 3 in the morning, didn't really get a chance to memorize it. Still hope you guys like it. The Vietnamese believe that you feel from your stomach, from your gut. Roughly translated, tôi yêu em thật lòng means my intestines love you. I think it makes sense. It is a love so filling that it feeds your body, that it gives you life. In my 21 years, I have never heard my parents say that to each other, never spied on their intimate moments which I imagine playing out in the dim light over the kitchen table. I think they must have swallowed their love so hard that it can't find its way back out again. That it got buried under lost wedding photos, missed opportunities, and the boat ride across the Atlantic. My mother tells me she loves me by filling my belly. Every time I go home, love is translated into spoonfuls of salted meat and curried chicken, bowlfuls of rice, and chopsticks balanced between my tiny fingers. I feast upon the chewing that breaks the silence and the sound of my mother's bowl cupping the table. I have not yet learned how to love myself in this way. I am not a religious person, but when the temple of my anxiety lets out a low growl full of hot air, calling out into the middle of the night, I feel no choice but to worship the nervous breakdown that gnaws at my insides. What worries us masters us, and I cannot help but feed what rules me, painting the walls of my stomach lining red like a war zone, with the shame of being a gay daughter instead of a straight son, red with the fear that I am not good enough, red with the realization that my mother will not live forever. The Vietnamese believe that you feel from your stomach because your heart is not wide enough to hold temples or battlefields or houses flooded with water. How could a heart ever understand this hurt when the sinking feeling always ends in your stomach? Your gut wrestles with what your heart cannot because it is not lined with iron but blood, and these are sacred matters, you see. And you know, I once figured that I love you had too long of a way to travel from my stomach to my mouth into the space between me and my reflection, let alone anyone else. So instead, I let girls in and out of my body, my legs a revolving door to satiate a quick fix for loneliness until there was nothing more. Starvation was my mistress, and she clawed her way up my thighs until this hunger became a gut reaction. In my family, we do not speak these 3 words. They are buried beneath the deepest of our longings, our doubts, our ancestors, and our sidelong glances across the kitchen table. But that does not mean they are not there. So when I look into the mirror and see my stomach yellow as a golden Buddha's belly, I work on tiding over the hunger, nourishing this body of mine until the low growl turns into the gulp before the murmur of I love you, I love you, I love you.